Boyfriend snapped on me last night. I lost my aquarium. He threatened to kill my cats and leak my lewd content. I don't know what was wrong with him. An argument escalated into him repeatedly telling me to kill myself. Spraying me with a water gun in the face meant for the cats. Telling me that he was going to kill my cats. Telling me that I am a crazy stupid piece of crap. An idiot. He hopes I die. Grabbing me by the neck of my sweatshirt and not letting me go until I deliberately stopped resisting and leaned back into him. Causing him to fall into my little betta fish aquarium. He said I was a stupid idiot for letting that happen. And that it was actually caused by me forcibly slamming his head into it. He then proceeded to try to break some camera equipment that I have. And hit himself in the head with it. Pretended to be knocked out. And said he had it all on film so that he could send me to jail. Right now my betta tank is cracked and slowly leaking out. Oh, I forgot. He also snapped the lid of the betta tank in half over his knee on purpose. I kept asking him why he was acting that way. And he said it is because I am a stupid idiot. I legit don't even know what I did. I didn't cheat on him. I didn't break anything of his or hurt any of his family. I got a little drunk. But so was he. And we were having a good night before that. And then he just wouldn't stop coming at me in my face literally. Leaning down over me. 1 inch from my face. And telling me that he is going to ruin my life by exposing that I have been a cam model. Edit 1. If it matters. I lost my white-collar desk job during the COVID times. I used to work in finance. I have my degree in MBA, which he kept saying I could only have gotten by performing a lewd act on a man in power. But since then, I was camming online for money to pay the bills. I say was. Because he forbids me from camming. And is. Paying my bills now in return. I told him I'm not ashamed of the camming. But he said he just wants me to himself. Edit 2. I'm a 38 female. He's a 38 male. He's now telling me that my only worth is as a cam model expletive. And then he is also telling me that I am losing my looks. I've known him 5 months. I look the same as when I first met him. Edit 3. I currently live with him. He told me that he can't live without me. Wants a baby with me. And to marry me. I'm not the desperate lonely type. But he previously convinced me that he was my soulmate. Although now, he hates me. Wants me to kill myself. Said that about 118 times this morning until he passed out. Edit 4. I legit have his spit on the coffee table still in front of me when he tried to spit on me. Which is also covered by a random powder he threw at me. As well as my betta tank's water leaking out. Edit 5. An update. I woke up about an hour ago. I hadn't had the chance to sleep in about 36 hours. After that fight with him. Then being scared to go to sleep. Thank you to everyone for your comments. And definitely thank you for the awards. I am actually pretty shocked that my worst Thanksgiving ever ended up having this much notice. Okay. So I wanted to make a nice Thanksgiving dinner for myself. And when he had woken up this afternoon, and seemed a little more stable, only occasionally calling me a POS idiot, not joking. And not sure why that is his go-to insult. Well, that and a few other very degrading terms for females. I went to the grocery store at least convinced that he wasn't going to kill my cats at this point. I had all of my belongings in the living room, ready to load into my car. And I told him that. He threw me a few more insults. And I left. When I got back about 45 minutes later, all of my stuff had disappeared. He was vacuuming and had lit candles. I asked him where my stuff was. And he said back where it always is. Where it belongs, in my closet. I was so confused. And reminded him of a few of the terrible things he had said to me earlier. So, here's where I am so confused. He looked at me like I was crazy. And said, "What are you talking about? I never said that. And he said it as if he genuinely meant it. So, could he have just been off of his meds, really drunk both? He literally put every single thing of mine exactly back where it had been, and without peeing in it, as he had threatened to do 12 hours earlier. Edit 6. I do have pictures of the serious large and multicolored bruises all over my body from a couple weeks ago. Except for my ribs, which didn't bruise on the outside, but are finally healing. After a couple weeks, it's nice to finally be able to breathe, laugh, cough, check my blind spots in my car without being in excruciating pain. I kind of told my mom. Then she freaked out and wanted to call the police. I told her not to, because there's a chance that he would also say I hurt him when he slammed me to the ground. He bruised his wrist, so I could go to jail too. He keeps threatening, lying that he is calling the police, which he knows that I am terrified of again, because of the possibility of getting arrested too for a she said he said. He will constantly pretend to be talking to the police to tell them that I am overwhelming him and they need to come arrest me. Not in a cute funny way, but a serious wants to scare me way. Then when I say I'll call them and show them pictures of the bruises you caused, he freaks out and tells me I never called them. Edit 7. For those of you who say I might be getting gaslight, do you for sure think I am being gaslight? Not being facetious at all. I know this sounds stupid. I just think I made him be like this to me. I've had boyfriends in the past who have said stupid things to me. At the same time, I've said and done my share of stupid things. I know this might sound crazy, and it does as I'm writing and reading what I wrote. But maybe I could make anyone act like this towards me. Edit 8. Okay. I'm sorry for all of the edits. Maybe in part, I'm writing this so that I don't forget the BS by him and stay with him. But a few times through the night, early morning, he pulled a picture off the wall and swung it at me, saying he wishes he could bash me over the head with it and kill me so that he didn't have to see my face anymore. I forgot about that again. It had been 24 hours without sleep for me at that point. I'm looking at that picture in his wall right now. I just got triggered by the memory. Edit 9. Someone said this post is fake. I really wish it was. Anyone questioning can DM me. And I have the pictures to prove everything. This sucks ass. And now the sun is coming up. And he is going to wake up. I don't know what version of him I am going to see. Update. My plans to leave him fell through when my mom acted like a nut again. But so many of the words on here have resonated with me. I didn't want to feel like a kitten anymore. So I told him that I am going to cam again for the first time after living with him. Today, he ripped his router out off of the wall and told me to use my hotspot, and asked how could I hate him that much. And then Venmo'd me some money for bills due at the beginning of next month. Later that day, he was still angry about me trying to cam, and showed me that he purchased website domains with my name and my fake name, and is planning on uploading all of my undressed camming, with the intent of making sure that any future employer or anyone who Googles me will see it. If you're looking for the comment to validate your desire to leave, this is it. You know it doesn't matter that drinking was involved. You know it doesn't matter that you didn't provoke him. You know this is not normal behavior. You know staying doesn't make sense. You're just waiting for the outside justification to feel these things. Get out now. You've only been together 5 months, and have already had to leave him multiple times. Most couples are in the honeymoon phase for almost a year. It will only be significantly harder emotionally, physically, and safely to remove yourself from this manipulator the longer you stay with him. He wants to control you. He has no interest in protecting you or loving you or taking care of you. He acts sad when you leave because it elicits an immediate response from you and you come back. Why would he change his behavior and treat you the way you deserve if he knows he can call you unworthy, unattractive? Only worthy of camming and you'll believe him. I've lost count of the number of friends and family members who've met their soulmates in their 40s, 50s, and 60s. Don't let the fear of being alone keep you with someone who clearly doesn't deserve you. This comment needs to be seen. My mom survived a few monsters of men. Her stories are horrific. My siblings lived through awful things before I existed. OP has to get away now. Get far away while you still have your freedom. Make sure someone always knows where you are and how to find you. It's not silly to assume this man could cause irreparable harm. Please do this for yourself and never let anyone on this earth tell you that you are not worthy of being alive. If he's asleep, you should be calling the police right ducking now. He will eventually beat the shit out of you. And possibly take your life. You need to run like before you even posted this. Agreed, what he did is probably illegal wherever you are. At least get a police report so there's a record of the facts. Contact a local nonprofit legal aid that handles these kind of stuff. They may be able to help connect you with emergency resources like housing, a lawyer, therapist, etc. Second story. My 22 female boyfriend, 25 male, is hiding all my stuff, and I have no idea why. My boyfriend of 5 months just moved in with me 3 weeks ago. He had some problems with his apartment, damp walls, and it has to be renovated. As my roommate is currently spending some time abroad, I told him it would be okay if he stayed at my place for 4 to 6 weeks. He'll be able to move back to his own apartment by that time. So, now we've been living together for 3 weeks, and things started out great. Jealousy had been a bit of a problem between us because we often go out separately, probably once a week, but coming home to the same apartment helped him get over his unjustified jealousy. But there has been one new problem. Now, this may seem petty at first, but I am really at my wit's end with this one. Ever since he moved in with me, things started disappearing and then reappearing one day later in the same place they were missing from. I am talking about documents, small household items and food. And it's not like losing keys and then finding them again somewhere. I specifically look for something in a certain place where it isn't, but is there the next day. For example, I like to take a chocolate bar with me to work in the morning. And for that, I normally have a pack of chocolate bars at home. Shortly after he moved in with me, I woke up to find all the chocolate was gone. I asked him about it. He said he didn't know anything about it. I come home just to find the chocolate bars are in the cupboard again. I ask him. He says he doesn't know anything about it. Maybe you just didn't see them in the morning. We're talking about a large pack with about 12 chocolate bars. How can I not see that? At first, I thought it was maybe some strange kind of humor. But he seems angry when I bring it up, and it's starting to really piss me off. Because sometimes, it's been items belonging to one of my friends that I wanted to give back to them and then couldn't. Or it was certain documents I needed for a certain day. Now, I have absolutely no idea what this is about. I am not crazy. I just don't understand at all. He gets really angry when I talk about it, saying I am making this up just to cause drama. Why should I? I have no idea what's going on. Any ideas? Too long, didn't read. Since my boyfriend of 5 months temporarily moved in with me, objects start to disappear and reappear a day later in the same place. He acts like I am crazy, and I have no idea what this is about. They met only 2 months ago, and he quickly showered OP with gifts and gestures. He wanted a relationship very quickly. OP is now being educated on gaslighting when other commenters mention that's what her boyfriend is doing. OP comments that her boyfriend doesn't like it when she spends time with her friends. Update. First of all, thank you all very much for your suggestions, advice, support and concern. I've gotten multiple PMS asking if I was okay, and I really appreciate it. So, back to my situation. After I read all your comments and did some reading on gaslighting, I was really freaked out. Plenty of you told me there were other red flags in our relationship. It got me thinking, and more stuff came to mind that should have worried me a long time ago. Our whole relationship felt pretty rushed from the start. I didn't even want to date, but he showered me with romantic gifts, gestures, date ideas, texts, and I finally gave in. He was pretty upset when I didn't want to say I love you from the start. When I didn't want him to meet my family right away. When I didn't want to have sex without a condom. You don't trust me. And when I didn't want to book an expensive vacation with him. He was very jealous and didn't want me to go out without him, although he went out with his friends all the time. He made me cancel plans to spend time with him, and then stood me up. He logged into my Facebook and changed my relationship status one day after we started dating as a surprise. I actually did worry at that, but thought he was just bad at making surprises. As user Pigeons Be Pigeoning pointed out, all the stuff that has gone missing had something to do with me leaving the house or meeting friends and family. A gift for my friend. The key to my parents' house. A USB stick I borrowed. Documents for an application for a semester abroad, which we had a huge fight about because he didn't want me to go, etc. After I read all about gaslighting, I ordered a nanny cam. Unfortunately, the delivery took 4 days, and after day 1 I already knew I couldn't be with him any longer. I wanted him out of the apartment ASAP, and with as little drama as possible. I told him that my roommate had gotten a really interesting job offer, and would cut her vacation short and come home in a week. So he had to move out. He was pretty angry. But I told him that there was nothing I could do. I also told him, as some of you suggested, that his landlord had to get him a place to stay, and that he should call him. The next day, he told me that he had talked to his landlord, and he could move back in his own flat on the following weekend. The renovations had not taken as long as planned. At this point, I doubt the apartment ever had damp walls to begin with, but who knows. In the evening he asked me if I wanted to move in with him because it works so well, and you don't like your roommate anyway. I never even said that. I told him sure. I would move in with him in June. He was pretty excited about it. While I was waiting for the nanny cam to arrive, there was one incident when something went missing. A book that I had ordered for my dad over Amazon, and wanted to bring him the next day, at least that's what I told my boyfriend. Of course. In the morning, the book was gone. I chose to ignore it, and he reacted quite strange to it. Even asked me on my way out if I had taken the book with me. Why on earth would he ask that if he didn't expect a reaction from me? I just asked what book. The book you wanted to bring your dad. I don't know what you're talking about. In the evening, the book was on my desk again, of course. And I ignored it again. 2 hours later, he casually walks by my desk and says, "Ah, that's the book I was talking about." I just said, "Oh, that book." He seemed pretty angry for the rest of the evening. 2 days later, the nanny cam finally arrived. I set it up while he was at the gym, and again, when he was there, placed a letter I needed for work on my desk. I wasn't surprised at all when it was gone a few hours later and reappeared the next day. When I finally was alone at home again and could check out the nanny cam evidence, I only saw what I already knew. He took the letter while passing the desk, put it in his gym bag, and put it back a few hours later. However, as soon as I saw the evidence, I decided against confronting him. To be honest, I was scared of his reaction and had already decided to break it off as soon as possible. Also, the camera didn't show me his motive, and I figured he probably wouldn't tell me anyway. However, it frustrated me very much that I would probably never know why he did it, and on the last evening before he moved back to his newly renovated apartment, I told him I wanted to watch an old movie called Gaslight. Thanks for the tip, everybody. It really is a great movie. He sat with me through the whole movie. but was quieter than usual while I talked the whole time about how unrealistic the movie was and that he was obviously insane. I actually expected some kind of reaction from him, but he just sat there looking nervous. On Sunday, he took all his stuff back to his apartment. My brother had organized someone to come and change the locks. And as soon as that was done, I wrote my boyfriend a text telling him that it was over. I had no interest in being contacted again. That our breakup was final, and I thought it was very sad that he had to hide my things to keep the relationship interesting. Since then, he called me more or less non-stop, but I haven't picked up and I won't. I know this isn't the most heroic or exciting ending. I could have confronted him with the video evidence, but instead I cowardly broke up with a text message. However, I really didn't want to confront him and have a dramatic fight. I just wanted it to be over as soon and as smoothly as possible. If there's anything I've learned from this, it's to not rush into a relationship. For the past 7 years, I've jumped from one long-term relationship to the next, and I think it's time to stay single for a while and concentrate on my college classes. For now, I am going to stay at my brother's for 2 or 3 weeks, and I should probably change my phone number. I am sorry that I can't give you any insight on why he did it. It may have been kleptomania, a prank, or messing with my stuff because something about me frustrated him. I will probably never know. In all the texts he's sent me, it only says that he doesn't know what I am talking about and he never took my things. Too long didn't read. Nanny cam evidence shows that it was indeed my ex-boyfriend who took all my things and put them back later. I got him out of my apartment and broke up with him as soon as he was gone. I don't know why he did it, but I am pretty sure it has something to do with isolating me from friends and family and keeping me in our apartment and under his control. I love this ending. Maybe he deserved to be confronted. But it wasn't about what he deserved. It was about what OP needed. I feel like a lot of people forget that giving someone what they deserve isn't always the best way to go. Third story. My wife is currently in her bedroom on the phone with the other guy she developed feelings for. I feel like I am on a roller coaster I didn't ask to be on and can't get off of. We recently decided to separate. You know, after she told me we don't really make sense together and said she has feelings for someone else. I was completely blindsided and completely crushed. I am definitely simplifying things, and I know she isn't trying to hurt me, but it feels like she has already moved on. It feels like she moved on weeks ago when I was foolishly unaware there was anything wrong with my marriage. The house was just listed on the market today. Realtor thinks we will close the sale in about 45 days because of the current market. She couldn't wait 45 days until we both move out to start dating this guy. This is torture. And I have nowhere to duck and go. I can't move out while we work out the divorce. I moved 600 miles away from my family so that she could be close to hers. I told her to quit her job at the beginning of the year, when she got really sick, and have been supporting both of us since then. So I have nowhere to go. And no money to get another place until the house sells because my entire paycheck has been paying our bills and all her medical expenses for the last 10 months. Duck my life. Edit. This blew up while I was sleeping. There are too many comments for me to reply to, but I am reading through them and appreciate all the advice. Thank you all for your support. Also, if there are any BuzzFeed type of employees lurking out there for some reason, please leave this one alone. This is my life, not a TV show. Get a lawyer and stop paying for your wife. Bro, I feel like if she is already dating someone else, you should not still be paying her expenses. If she has time to date in what should be a tumultuous time in her life, she doesn't really have an excuse to not pay her own way. You're not entirely wrong. I just still care about her. Maybe I am getting jerked around a bit at this point, but she's been my best friend for the last 7 years. I don't feel right about cutting her off without giving her an opportunity to get herself set up. I am giving her until the house sells or she gets a job. Whichever comes first. She didn't choose to get sick. I might be being naive, but I am willing to live with that, I guess. Hit like if you enjoyed this video. Consider subscribing to our channel.